I think there are some lessons that can be learned from previous UK elections for investors, but you have to be a little careful as well as to how much you do that. So each UK election is a little different in terms of the election itself and the general world around it. Probably the most useful examples would be 1992 election and the 2010 election for investors looking at the 2015 version. That's because those were elections where we had a great deal of uncertainty about what the result would be. When we look at those, we can see that the markets do price that uncertainty in, but what's quite interesting is they don't do that until quite close to the time. I think the most important consideration for investors is the extent to which a new government will entail a referendum sometime after May 2015 that could have key implications for the future of the UK. On the one hand, a Labour SNP government, or at least involving the SNP, may well lead to another referendum on Scottish independence, as we had in September. Even more importantly, a Conservative-led government, especially one supported by UKIP, is likely to lead to a Brexit referendum. Now, this is a huge event for UK markets, clearly, if the UK were to leave the European Union. But given it's a very large economy leaving the world's largest economic bloc, this potentially has the potential to impact global assets in terms of its ramifications. Investors are not yet making big calls on the outcome of the election. They're looking at doing their due diligence, looking at working out what those outcomes will be, looking at maybe some kind of scenario analysis so that they can understand the ramifications for their asset classes of the election. But it's still too early now, a few months ahead of the election itself, to be putting big trades on, I think. So investors are not doing that yet. But clearly, as we move into March, April in particular, then I think investor attention will move from that due diligence phase and towards the actual kind of hedging of risks or speculation.